So apologies for that first attempt at live. I couldn't get the camera to switch round. So I just wanted to do this live for two reasons. Firstly, because I've not had a chance to shoot any video because we've been away on holiday, and secondly, just to sort of show you guys post-holiday sort of carnage, I suppose, and give you guys a bit of content. So the room is very noisy. I've got pumps running and filling tanks and stuff. So I'm going to flip the camera and I'll just give you guys a bit of a tour of sort of where we're at, what we've done since we've come back. So I'm just carrying the tripod at the moment. So nothing much happened on this top shelf, although what we have done is we've water changed these two tanks, and I do have some tangerine tiger babies of the few that we had left. My ghost bees down here, albeit only a few of them, are okay. I've got this tank ready for shrimp coming next week. I've got this tank ready for shrimp coming next week, and we're currently sort of just topping that up. We have moved over the PRL and they're a bit more active. They seem to be doing fine on there. And then if we just move down, let me see if I can get this down a little bit. So if we just move down here, so all of these are on master soil except the tank that's already got shrimp in. So the 25 litre is cycled, but the other two, so the N1 and this one, aren't cycled. They've still got a lot of ammonia, and we've water changed the Galaxy tank, excuse the bucky, but orange spots on everything, just denoting that I've water changed everything. And on the tanks that are cycling, I have done some big water changes, sort of 50-60%, and on the tanks that are having new shrimp in this week, those have had 95% water changes. So I may actually yeah, I'm going to do that. It's going to pump off a second because it is a bit noisy, and sort of give you guys a bit more of a tour of the room. And this one is the best, I think. So this tank up here, which is just cycling, is absolutely swarming with algae. Other tanks are doing fine. This tank's now empty, so that had the PRL in. I do need to reset that. Everything else is reasonably clean, haven't lost anything. And then this is an SL Aqua tank. So I have put a couple of ram's horn snails in there to see if they'll make a bit of a dent in that cotton algae. But ultimately that's ready to sort of go. I could siphon that out and just sort of crack on with that. So what I will do is I'm going to just drop this onto the PRL tank. And excuse the reflections. I should probably actually turn the lights off in this room to make things a little bit easier, and you can sort of see me in the background hiding. But it's all down to the reflections. I could probably get filters and stuff on here. But it was just sort of a quick, update, I suppose, on sort of where we're at to, what's happening. So there's still shed loads of stuff. I nearly swore then. There's shed loads of stuff still to do. I'll actually take the camera out of here a second because it's probably a bit easier. So these are my sort of mixed galaxies, and there are some nice ones in there. There's babies in there as well. So these are doing quite well. There are a few potential selections that can come out of there. And then these are the two master soil tanks that I've got cycling. So they are growing biofilm. There is algae in there. I have done some water changes on these because the ammonia was quite high. So that's two of them. Those are 45 litre tanks. And as I was telling the guys, this is another master soil one, but this is actually cycled. They're all set up at exactly the same time, I'm assuming it's because there's only a thin layer of soil in there. But my lighting choice is giving me green wall, which is quite nice. So I'm getting green wall off the lighting choice that I used, and it is cheap and cheerful. But the tanks that I'm going to use are aquasolum. So one of my friends is sending me some shrimp this week. In fact, I should have shrimp coming from 2 sources, but I haven't. It's whether I get those or not. But interestingly, my fancy tigers are doing well. So these are the sort of higher grade ones. They're doing pretty well. Everything's doing okay, to be fair. I haven't got sort of an influx of babies. Somebody asked me, actually, while I think about it, it's really humid in this room at the moment. Somebody asked me for some footage of my lower grade fancies. So they absolutely love getting up there. So these are my sort of lower grade fancy tigers. And I do need to sort of have a bit of a cull in these ones anyway. But there are some nice stuff in there. So things to do for this week, I suppose, are cotton algae, siphon that out. I'm not in a rush to get that out. I'm going to see the snails, how they get on with that. This tank needs resetting completely, so that's going to get completely scrubbed out. And then I may choose to move my blue bolts and steels up there, but I haven't decided yet. They seem to be doing okay, and I've still got some glass and stuff to clean. But my orange neos are doing really well, considering I only had 30 of them to start with. 35 I think I had. So they've gone crazy. Need to get the lighting sorted on this rack because this is just temporary, and need to do something with the lighting up here as well. And ultimately, I think I'm gonna complete a rack at a time. So I need to get another couple of tanks in here, but I've got to order those and get the float valves done properly. And then once those are done, I think I'm going to put some covers. So just put some flaps in front of these to so the light's on the tank's not reflecting back at me. And then sort of that rack will be finished, and then I can do the same on this rack and the same on that rack. So still loads to do, absolutely loads. But hopefully, and if Rob's watching, he'll probably message me later, I should be getting this week some orange eye red devils and some dragon bloods. So you can see the reflection of me in the background, but let's in fact turn it that way. Yeah, there we go. Hello, shrimp fanatic. Rob. So you got mentioned, Rob. You did get a mention. I might actually, let me have a play with this tripod. Let's see how far I can get this down. So it is live and I'm really unprepared for it, so apologies to everybody. I don't even know if I'm going to publish this one afterwards. So it's it was literally just because I've got no video at all to do post holiday. So I thought if we go live, at least that will give you guys a video. And what I'm going to do is so these are mixed. You can have a bit of a look and a spot on here because there will be some nice shrimp in here, and I need to do some selection in this tank. I need to set up another tank and select from here into that other tank. And one of the difficulties is because of how I had to move the racks around in the initial stages. I ended up with the galaxies down on the bottom or the lower shelf. With me having back issues, it caused, I haven't been able to sit and watch this tank as well as I'd like to. So I may still end up moving it a bit higher, because ultimately there's two strains that maybe three that I want to concentrate on, and that's pure reds. I want to concentrate on the fancy tigers, so those need a bit of a call or some selection, and my galaxies, and I may end up buying additional stuff as well, but there is some good stuff in this galaxy tank. So the eagle-eyed amongst you might spot those. There's stuff that's good in there. Let's trying to get this as low as I can. But as you can see, those are thriving and doing really well. I had these on Akadama before moving them onto this SL, and they have done massively better on the SL soil than they ever did on Akadama. And I always blame the Akadama for me struggling with the galaxies, and I think a lot of my problems weren't just Akadama, but a lot of my problems were an abundance of plants and mosses creating dead spots in the tank. So if anyone spotted, there's a rose gold towards the middle at the back there, just going under the leaf, and that's quite a nice shrimp if you wanted, if I wanted to sort of develop from that sort of line. There are some nice stuff in here. I just haven't really been able to sort of get down and pick at them and work out what I needed to pull out and stuff like that. So I think the tank that's absolutely smothered at the moment in cotton algae, that's on SL Aqua as well. So it makes sense, because these are on SL Aqua, that would be my selection tank. So I may have to sort of get my nipper in here and get down on the floor and see if I can, if I get stuck, he'll try and help me up. If I get stuck, and there's a strong possibility that I will as well. So just move that out of the way. So I'm just going to have a look at some messages from you guys. You're welcome, Rob. Yeah, I did see that post, John, about the ram's horn, hence me firing a couple of ram's horns in there, to be honest. It's I saw your post and thought, I'm going to fire a couple in there and just see how much damage two of them can do. I've got plenty that can go in there, believe me. So we think it's see, there's another there, sort of to the left, about a third of the way back, and although the camera doesn't pick it out well, that's sort of a real rose gold bronze coloration to it. And there's a couple in there like that. I need to work out what's male and female, obviously, but there are a couple in there like that that are really nice and sort of got that metallic rose gold. They're not the pink base or the orange base, they are more of like a bronze. And there's some with nice blue metallics in here as well, as you can probably see. Yeah, I'm going to have a nose through when I can sort of get onto it, Rob. It's sort of at the back of my mind at the moment. It's getting the room finished and getting everything, where I really need it, and all the tanks done. And I'm in no rush to start selecting. I'm just pretty sort of happy to have shrimp at the moment. Not be losing any, getting the parameters right, getting on it a bit. And something I have done slightly different, and this is taking advice from somebody, is I'll just lift this up a second, is you see my UGF boxes? They're not on the deck. And who says shrimp don't like cover? So they've got a bit comfortable now, but when we first put them in, they were all underneath the UGF box. So they do like a bit of cover, definitely. Can't get this any lower. This I have got another tripod, but it's probably too low. But I mean, look, even at the front here, you know, you can see the blue metallics in some of these. Some of them have got better patination than others. But I need to sit and sort of have a look through and probably sort of put some into some jugs and say, you know, this is a keeper, this one isn't, this is a keeper, this one isn't. And then I'll probably, you know, once I select some out. No, it's not a new camera, it's not yet. So I'm currently on a S20 Ultra that I've never really got to grips with. Bizarrely, I've got DSLR cameras and stuff and proper vlogging cameras, but I can't go live with them. And I find the phone's as good as anything, to be honest. But allegedly, I should be receiving my new Galaxy S23 tomorrow. So I bit the bullet and just went for it. But I've had Galaxies for, I think my first Galaxy was an S3. And I don't always have sort of every model, but you know, S3, S5, S7, S9. And I think they've got more expensive, so contractually now, if you don't buy them outright, they tend to be 3 years. They tend to be on contract for 3 years, albeit I think you can clear the debt after 2 if you're in contracts. So it's just ways of selling the strong, you know, the stronger phones. I did fancy the Ultra, but I got a bit of a deal with this one. There was an offer where what I should get after 30 days of buying. I've gone for the 256 gig, and I think it was one of those in the offer where after 30 days, Samsung sends you an email or a text asking for, and you're giving you a voucher, and I think the voucher's for £248, and to buy Galaxy Buds 2, and I think the Galaxy Buds 2 are £249, so theoretically you get them for £1. But I'll be back in a sec. I'm on mic, so even if I walk away, you should still hear me okay. I'm just walking up to the other end of the room to grab something. I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's electronic and it stops me smoking, because it might go against community guidelines and all that malarkey, you know. So yeah, quite pleased that the tangerines have bred, and I was talking to Rob about them a little bit earlier. I bought some off a well-known auction site with 4 letters, and they destroyed my colony, absolutely destroyed my colony. And I think I was sharing a net between that tank and my bloodshot tank, and it absolutely decimated them. I think I went from something like 50 tangerines down to 6, and with the bloodshot I went from probably 120 down to 20, and I think it was bacterial. It was you definitely got over it. I'm not getting any deaths in any of those, and both of those colonies are growing quite well. Not to the extent that they were yet, but they are growing well. So just lesson learned. And I know I probably should have quarantined in a breeder box, but we all do it. We buy them, we drip them, we stick them in, you know. And I I think most of the stuff that I get now are into new tanks, so I don't need to, or they're from people I know and trust. So dripping in and sort of dropping in and doing what I do isn't really a problem. So I've got wires everywhere, tubes everywhere at the moment. I'm just prepping for new shrimp, and if you see any smoke flying past the lens, apologies, I'll try and blow it the other way. But it's nice to, I'm actually sitting down, and it's unusual for me to be able to do this of late, but I've got like a mini caravan step, 2 steps, and I use it if I need to sort of get to the top or reach behind racks and stuff, just so I'm not sort of overstretching and causing myself problems. That this is the first time I've actually been able to sit this low, so I'm sitting on like 2 steps. This is the first time I've been able to sit this low in a long time. So hopefully the breakaway, albeit massively tedious, and yeah, it was horrific, to be honest. We went to Turkey, and we normally go to the same place. My missus likes what she likes, and we normally stop at a specific hotel, but for whatever reason it was mad expensive, and my daughter paid for us. She took us away, paid for everything, and she booked an apartment. The apartment was like an apart hotel type thing, but we asked for a low room because of my mobility, and we're convinced they actually gave us a room that the staff used, and it was used to dump old bits of furniture in because it was horrendous. And if you imagine the rooms are square, there was 2 rooms, but imagine the rooms are square. On our headboard was the bar that was banging music till 4 in the morning every night. On the living room part of it, the other side of that wall was the kitchens. So on the left side of us, if facing the room, was a walkway backwards and forwards to the kitchens, and on the right side of us was the public toilets for the bar and the stairs to the rest of the hotel. So we asked them for a move. They said they'd got no availability, so we jumped on Airbnb and just booked ourselves another apartment, and it was on the 3rd floor, which was fun. No lifts, but my daughter, God bless her, she carried all the suitcases up and everything, and I only really went down when I needed to, and then going back up just took my time, but struggled. 3 flights of stairs was horrific, to be honest. But it is what it is. We've put a complaint in. We'll see where that goes. So Paul's, I don't know if Paul's still on, but Paul's seen the room, and more visits. It's probably changed a bit and changed a bit and changed a bit. So I'm hoping to sort of get this first rack filled with shrimp. So we've got I have 12 tanks on this rack, and hopefully we'll have something in all 12 of those by the end of September. And then I'll sort of just finalise that. Something else I've done actually is I have put these tank stands in. So the tank stands are in and they're all level now. Even on that one, I think we showed that one last time, but we've got those in. A few little snails on there. So there are some poor ones in here that probably just need to come out altogether, but again there's some nice like bronze base ones, and there's a few of those in there. We need to find the males and stuff. Air 1 and 2, by the way, is just the airlines that they're on. Airlines 1 and 2. But as you can see, there's a few in there with that decent base, albeit some are better than others. And there are some nice shrimp sort of moving towards the front. I don't think these guys will feed. I have fed them. I could give them, I could try because they are pretty voracious. Let's see what we've got. Let's put in a Caridina that I haven't put in for ages. I'll just find a small piece. And this is where he drops it in, and it doesn't sink where you want it to sink. I don't know if they'll go to it because they have been fed. I'll give it an hour, and if they're still mooching with it, I'll take that out. So these have been fed. We came back on Thursday and I fed them Thursday and I fed them this morning. But they are greedy little so-and-sos. Focus a bit better. I put some tunes on in the background, but it would probably infringe copyright and stuff, so I'm not going to put any tunes on. But for those of you that aren't already, we've set up a Discord server, a GBee Shrimp one. So if anyone wants the link to that, just if you've got me on Facebook, either me personally or the GBee page, just drop us a message and I'll send you the link to the Discord server, and we'll probably do some sort of different lives on there because we're not restricted to copyright and stuff. We can sort of do a live and a Q&A, and you know, there's a few of us that will probably go live, me and hopefully Rob, and Rob's a good DJ, so he's got a good, nice eclectic music style. So he likes a bit of everything, and he plays sort of different tunes and stuff. And that's sort of the plan with the Discord server, just so we can sort of do a bit more. There's focus, you know, there's chats that are topic focused or species focused, fish as well. And I did get a nice surprise actually when, if any of you have seen my escape video, the Iwagumi Dragonstone one. The original plan was to, I've got 0 KH in that, and the original plan was to actually put some shrimp in there. So I fancied putting in some there's loads of grass of places for hide. It wasn't a show tank by all means. I wanted to put some pure black lines in there because I think the contrast would be good. But I moved some fish over from the original scape that they were in. One of them was a lovely double red cockatoides male epistogramma, and I got him a female, and he subsequently decided that he didn't want to eat anymore and pretty much starved himself to death. I think the heavily planted tank that he was in had a lot of neos in, and I think, if I'm brutally honest, he was living off baby neos. You know, you forever saw him sort of hunting and stuff, but I subsequently lost him, got another one, and as I've mentioned it in the video, I had to separate the female because she beat the male up. I moved their pot, i.e. their cave, and then I put them sort of back together with a broken territory. And she, my son, while we were away, sent me a video of them fighting. He said, "They're fighting, they're fighting." I said, "They're not, they're getting it on." And when we came back, I noticed that she was in the cave, he was on a high point in the tank, and every time any of the dither fish went to the other side of the tank, he run them off. So instantly I knew that they'd got young, just by their behaviours. So I came back to I don't know how many there is, but a cave full of baby epistos. I've never bred them. I've never tried to grow them out. So I did watch I started watching a video, start to finish, breeding epistos. I haven't finished watching it by Keeping Fish Simple. If anyone follows that channel, he's pretty good. I like the way he sort of goes through stuff from start to finish. And I'll watch that, and hopefully we can they can have about 200. I might so I have got a tank in here, a 50 litre that's cycling. I might end up having to use that as a fry raising tank and get a BBA, not BBA, baby brine shrimp hatchery on the go, and see if we can't sort of grow a few of them on and see how we get on with those. But they are lovely little fish. I've always liked cichlids, but I've never had dwarf cichlids, and I haven't got the room for big tanks for other types of cichlids. Years ago I've kept and bred discus, and that was before the Stenker stuff. So 90% of discus was what that you bought in shops with wild caught, and you only have to look at them and they sort of killed over. But and I have bred them successfully and raised fry and sold fry as well. But I'm talking 20 years ago, at least 20, 30 years ago. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Hopefully we can do okay. I'd hate to think that they just perish, but I've got no idea. I don't know how long she looks after them, how they get fed until you need to take them out, what to feed them on. You know, will they take flake? Do you need to do baby brine shrimp? I've got no idea. So that's my task for this week, is to roughly work out when we think they were born and when, if they need taking out, and how we're going to sort of raise them and stuff like that. I'll probably get attacked by the mama when I'm trying to remove them, but they are pretty good parents. They're I've watched her sort of, you know, they stray outside the cave and she'll suck them in and spit them back in the cave. And then I've seen one get out and it was sort of resting on the top of the cave, so outside the cave, and she came out to chase off some green neons, and she spotted him and picked him up and brought him back in. And it's a lovely little fish, really interesting to watch. Let me hear say whale, whale. Well, you can zoom. So it's only my second ever live, and apologies if you joined the first live that was scheduled. I ended up cancelling. I couldn't turn the phone sideways. It was upright, and if it had played back and I'd have saved it, it'd have been sideways, and I couldn't work out how to turn it, but I had a bit of a play and managed to get it going. So I've still got to fill up a tank here for done the 95% water changes for the shrimp that are coming this week. These are Caridina pellets if anyone's interested. So they get a similar reaction to Epidama. So Epidama is a bit like shrimp crack, but the Caridina pellets are quite good. I do like them. I mix things around like everybody does, sort of, you know. Every time I feed something different, or try to feed something different. And I'm still trying to work out why I've got a snail in a tank that's cycling that's never had any plants in it. It's never had anything in it from another tank. The only thing I've put in it until today was a piece of catappa bark that was completely dry. It wasn't pre-soaked. Because the tank was cycling, I literally just dropped it in. And yet I've still got a ram's horn snail in there. Unless he's come up and over from another tank. Just mind-boggling. I don't mind them. They get a bit annoying when there's millions of them and they're sort of... your glass is peppered with them because they've had a bit of an explosion, but they balance, they settle down. And because they're in really acidic tanks, you know, pH 5.5 or thereabouts, they don't tend to last long anyway. They sort of dissipate and stuff, and they never grow with really sort of good shells. They're almost semi-translucent. Woohoo! Thank you, Shrimp Fanatic. Tuesday, Shrimp Day. So, if you love getting new shrimp delivered in the post, like this video. And I think we all do. I think we all absolutely love Shrimp Day. New Shrimp Day. I've got some coming from another source as well. They're not new shrimp, they're top-ups for some other shrimp that I've got. Thanks, Al. My eyesight's horrendous. So I think that's Al J Shrimp who gave me a heart symbol, so thank you. So for those of you that have just joined, we're pretty much just sort of focusing on my Galaxy tank. There's some nice shrimp in here, but I do need to sort of start a breeding program at some point. And the purpose of the video, and I'm repeating for those that have been here a while, is just to sort of show you thanks. Just to show you sort of post vacation holiday room update. So I've spent most of yesterday and today doing massive water changes on cycling tanks and doing some water changes on this particular rack. I've completely done one rack with at the moment 10 tanks on, but will be 12. I've got my and then my other two racks have 8 tanks on each, and 3 of them are harder water. So I've got the orange neocaridina, my fire red neocaridina, and a few imported amanos left with snails and stuff in that tank. So they're I think the cappuccino snails in there. So those obviously have to have a different mix. one of the tanks is just a little temporary tank for some coolie loaches before my daughter's tank gets set up, and then ultimately that's just going to be a coal tank for the Neos. It's only a little 20 litre. It is temporary, but everything's sort of doing okay. I kept an eye on the temps and stuff while we were away. So for those of you that haven't followed me or don't know what we're doing in this shrimp room, we've got an AC unit and at the moment a dehumidifier that heats as well, so it does blow out a little bit of heat, and we set them up so that they're on a sensor. They're all on Tapo, the Tapo app, and we sort of hovered around 24 degrees, give or take a degree, even in the in the extreme temps that in the UK last week. So everyone was struggling, and my AC unit and the way I've got it set up came into play. I did have to tweak that a little bit when I came back, because I noticed that the AC unit was coming on while the heater was still coming on. So I've set the AC unit to come on at 25, not 24, and I've set the heater to go off at 24, not 25. So it's working. I think I spoke to a friend the other day, so I do need to move the AC unit and get a wall vent, a different wall vent put in. But I think what I'm probably going to do in the original wall vent is I'm going to see if I can drop an extractor in that to sort of help with the humidity without heating. And if I can get that done, I want to try and set that up on a sensor, because my sensor is temperature and humidity, so I can have heat, cool and humidity all sort of running separately, and that's the plan anyway. They literally just run on let me see if I can get it. Oh, let's grab this a second. This is the sensor. I'm going to try and put this in front of the camera if it will focus. So that's the sensor. It is small. It's probably a bit bigger than a 50p piece, but that's temperature and humidity sensor that controls smart plugs, and the smart plugs connect to. I've got a hub as well. I've got cameras and stuff that all link to it, so I can pretty much sort of keep an eye on things even when I'm not here if I need to. But there was a house sitter, and my son's here, so he does my packing and stuff. But he'll get paranoid about feeding shrimp, and if there's a problem with shrimp. And my AC unit's just come on actually, so I'm probably adding heat into the room because I'm quite warm. But yeah, the AC unit's just come on, which is absolutely lovely because it's now blowing cold air at me. So the room's got a bit warm. The AC. I'm going to go and switch it off. Actually, bear with me a second. I'm switching off because I knocked the temporary wall pipe off, so it will be cooling and blowing hot air into the room at the same time. So I'll have to sit here and sweat for the duration, but is it going to start? I need to just clip the pipe back into the vent, but so the vent's temporary. It's we originally sort of planned to use an old wall hole that was in place. The shrimp room's in the garage, and we used to have a tumble dryer in the garage with a vent, so we've tried to sort of reuse that, but where I need the AC unit isn't where that vent is, so we put conduits, ducting. We put ducting all behind the cupboards, like square ducting, but we found that because of the ducting and the length of the ducting was getting hot and heating half the room. So half the room was cool and half was heating, so we had to rethink that. But problem solving. That's what we're about, trying to find solutions to problems. And the solution I'm trying to find to a problem now is I'm just going to switch this off at the wall because the plug keeps trying to turn it on and it's not having any of it. So let's knock that plug off. So I'll better go down the other end of the room, guys. I'll unplug it, it's easier. I just need to get my nipper to refit it because it's under a cupboard and I can't get to it. But the problem I'm trying to resolve now is I've put down, and I'm a nightmare for doing it, I've put down somewhere there it is, my electronic device that helps to with cessation of smoking. Reading some messages, guys. Snow white plecos. I've got some pure white line. If pure white line Caridina. I haven't cleaned these tanks, so excuse the glass, but I've got some pure white line Caridina. So they all seem to be hiding, but there's loads in there. My pintos. And there's my coolie doing circles in that little tank I was on about, or one of the coolies. And those are the cappuccino snails. There's a few Manos left in there that I bought in to sell. Better grade fancies. So the room's a bit of a mess, so I am literally just working on this one rack that we're looking at the moment. But I'm hoping to get some more ghost bees. I'll ask Dan if he's got any, and if he has I'll get some more because I quite like those. And the nice thing about the ghost bees, if you want to try and sort of do some crosses, they're a good place. I can see some blue sparklies in there. Okay, I'm going to wrap up there, guys. Just a sort of final word, I suppose. I'll try and get some videos done this week. I want to try and get quite a bit of stuff done. I do need to put an order in with one of my suppliers and get the tanks for this top shelf finished. And then once I can get that done, I can complete this whole rack and get that finished with the flaps covering the lighting and stuff. And that'll obviously make for better video and stuff anyway. Less reflection, stuff like that. Front of the glass do need cleaning. I am getting new shrimp this week, so we'll get those settled. We'll get a little bit of video of those as well, and then we can sort of move on to the other racks and sort of work through those. And once I'm sort of fully done, I'll get we'll get some sort of breeding programs done. I do need to, and I've already done one of these videos, but I do need to completely reset a tank. So strip it down, bare a 45 litre scaper. Not sure if anyone's interested in how I set those up. I think I already have a video on that, but it wouldn't hurt to do another one. I know Sam, one of our Discord members and one of our group members in other groups, she wanted me to do a setup on using the matten, so using matten filters, not the tire mattens. I have to say, although I like them, if you're using them at the back of a tank, I think the black background isn't as nice as a lighter background. And just to sort of show that, I know I haven't got anything behind this, but this is just the wall that's blue behind. I haven't put anything behind there, and that's a matten. And I think that looks loads better than that, and brighter. The whole I mean, it's on the same lighting, but that looks quite bright. That looks really dark and dingy, and I think it's because of the matten at the back. So I may do one. I may do another one. I'm not sure yet, but I know somebody wanted sort of to see that setup. But we'll see how we go anyway. But I'm going to attempt to end this live now. So thanks all you guys for sort of joining and commenting. Apologies for the sort of the bum start on the one that was planned, and I'll get this one posted up anyway. I'll listen to it first and then decide if I'm going to post it up. But thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll get a proper video done this week, and looking forward to New Shrimp Day as always. Take care. Have a good week, everybody.